Deep in the Altai Mountains of southern Siberia, inside a cave carved out by an Ice Age river, Russian archaeologists find a sliver of bone. It is old. Actually, it is very old, more than 50,000 years, and buried under layers of frozen sediment. It is also tiny, barely the size of a child's fingertip, broken off from a pinky finger. It's 2008. Nothing about it looks remarkable. The archaeologists label the box modern human and move on. It would turn out to be anything but unremarkable. And it wasn't a modern human. 2 years pass before anyone looks closer. In a lab in Leipzig, Germany, geneticists shave 30 milligrams of powder from that fragment and read what's written inside it. They expect one of two answers: Homo sapiens or Neanderthal, the only other species known to have lived in a cave this cold, this far back in time. But it isn't either of them. The code hidden inside that fingertip-sized bone belongs to no species anyone has ever seen before. The bone got a name, Denisovans, after the cave where it was found. But even though that nickname entered the textbooks, scientists could not figure out what a Denisovan actually is. Nobody had a face to put to it, just fragments, a finger, a few teeth, until a skull surface that had been found long before. In 1933, a laborer building a bridge in Harbin, China, pulled a massive, strangely shaped skull out of the riverbank. The country was under Japanese occupation. Afraid it would be confiscated, he wrapped it up and lowered it to the bottom of an abandoned well. It stayed there for 85 years. He never told a soul, not until he was dying, when he finally confessed to his grandson. In 2018, the family pulled it back out and handed it to scientists. In 2021, researchers finally examined it properly, and what they found stunned the world. It turned out the skull wasn't human at all, but a brand new species on its own. They called it Homo longi, Dragon Man. Its skull was larger than almost any human skull ever found, and it even looked like it was closer to modern humans than Neanderthals. But it turned out it wasn't that brand new. In 2025, a team led by paleogeneticist Xiaomei Fu pulled genetic material from a speck of fossilized plaque on one of its teeth, less than a milligram, and it matched the bone found in Siberia 17 years ago. Denisovan. The nickname finally had a face, but still, there is no official classification and no scientific name for what a Denisovan actually is, only a vague idea of a third hominin species that lived long ago and somehow vanished. And the even bigger surprise was yet to come. Thousands of kilometers away in West Africa, in the genomes of people who have never set foot anywhere near Siberia or China, geneticists have since found something else entirely. And this one does not match anything known at all. Not Homo sapiens, not Neanderthal, not Denisovan. So, for a decade, 3 was the new number. There wasn't only Homo sapiens and the Neanderthal, now there was a Denisovan as well, who, to be precise, still has no official classification. But it wouldn't stay that way. In 2020, 2 geneticists at the University of California, Los Angeles, ran a routine scan. Arun Durvasula and Sriram Sankararaman were scanning whole genome data from present-day West Africans, checking for the usual signatures: Neanderthal, Denisovan, background noise. And then they found something that did not match at all. In real modern people, alive today, they found DNA that has never been seen before. Nobody knew what this could be. The DNA fragments showed up across 4 populations: the Yoruba and Esan of Nigeria, the Mende of Sierra Leone, and Gambian communities further west. Between 2 and 19% of their DNA traced back to this unnamed lineage, a finding published in Science Advances. It had split off from the human family over 1 million years ago. The interbreeding itself happened far more recently, around 124,000 years ago. No bones, no cave, no fossil to hold up as proof. Just the DNA itself, sitting quietly inside millions of people living in Lagos, in Freetown, in villages along the Gambia River. They carried ghost DNA for tens of thousands of years, the remains of a species that wasn't human, unnoticed until 2020. But this wasn't the first ghost found in living people of today. A year before that, on the other side of the planet, researchers had already found something just as strange. In 2019, researchers ran new genetic analysis on people across Asia and the Pacific Islands. Buried in the data, they found another DNA trace that fit nothing known. There as well, it wasn't human, it wasn't Neanderthal, and it wasn't Denisovan either. They named it EH1. It makes up approximately 3% of the DNA of people living from the Philippines to New Guinea today. But it turns out there are not only living humans with ghost DNA. In 2003, archaeologists digging in Liang Bua Cave on the Indonesian island of Flores had uncovered the skeleton of an adult woman standing barely a meter tall. It was a huge headline. Again, a new, completely separate species had been found. They nicknamed her the Hobbit. She was gone from the fossil record by around 50,000 years ago. Now they had real bones, a real skeleton, but this time, no usable DNA at all. The tropical climate had destroyed it long ago. 16 years later, in 2019, near that cave, where the Hobbit had lived more than 50,000 years ago, scientists found another DNA sequence in short-statured people living today. Again, one that did not match any known species. This ghost was named EH2. So do the people on that island in Indonesia carry DNA from a species that isn't human and has never been identified? The question is still open, and it adds to all the other mysteries of ghost DNA that can't be explained. To find answers to these open questions, in 2021, one team ran the largest search yet for traces of the Hobbit in living people, over 400 genomes. But even with the biggest analysis ever, they found nothing. Instead, they found something else, deeply hidden in the Denisovan DNA itself, the trace of a fourth ghost, a population that split off from the rest of humanity nearly 2 million years ago, according to a 2020 study by population geneticist Alan Rogers at the University of Utah. A ghost, folded inside another ghost, folded inside us. Seems like we are not only humans. We carry traces of beings in our ancestry that come from far beyond our own timeline. And this might not even be the end. There could be more ghosts hidden in our ancestry. More that isn't human at all. Run the numbers today, and almost nobody comes back clean. Most people outside Africa carry Neanderthal DNA. Millions across Asia and Oceania carry Denisovan DNA. Tens of millions of West Africans carry another lineage that has never been assigned a name, a face, or a single bone. And buried inside some of that inherited DNA, something older than all of it, detected only as a shadow inside another shadow. Every one of these lineages exists only as a statistical signature, a pattern in the DNA, with no skull, no skeleton, no name attached to it. Scientists have a term for what they're looking at when this happens: a ghost population. A presence proven only by the trace it left behind. Somewhere in the genome of a living person, right now, sits a fragment belonging to beings science has never been able to name. Who were they?